I thought I should come on live because it's been a while that I've done that, and I recently had a chat with someone about relationships and why is it so hard to find love in today's time, and I thought that I'm just gonna extend it here and share that with you. So if you're here with me, let me know. Do a hashtag live, and if you're catching a replay, do a hashtag replay. I am sitting in my car waiting for Dina to get out of her gym. And I thought, let's go ahead and use this time to connect and chat with you and give you some food for thought. As you know, I am in business of love, and I have noticed talking to singles, talking with those in newly formed relationships and those who have been together for years. And I wanted to get their frame of thinking so that I can compare and contrast. And that has always been something that I have enjoyed. First, I love to observe, and that whole human aspect of connection and how these connections are made. And maybe that's why I wanted to study psychology. And one of the things that has become obvious to me is that in today's time, people have become desensitized to the idea of sacrifice in a relationship. And I want to emphasize sacrifice in the definition that is for me. That is not for you to sacrifice your independence or sacrifice your autonomy or sacrifice your goals and values. It's that idea of for better or for worse, right? Not to throw in the towel when things get tough. Why? Because when things get tough, that's when you can see what your relationship is about. That's when you start building the capacity to withstand whatever weather you're about to embrace. Okay? There's going to be storms in your relationship, and you need to understand that. And I just feel that people have become desensitized to that idea of staying when things are tough. I haven't shared this with you guys before, but those close to me know the sacrifice that I had to make for my relationship when my husband came into the US and couldn't work. While we were figuring out his paper, while we were figuring out his green card and his stay here, I took on a second job. I had a full-time job, and then I worked on the weekends, right? So that is something that I had to do for us to be able to build a life and build the fundamental blocks on which our life together was built on. Now, that was temporary. I knew that that was going to be temporary because he needed to have a way of first, learning the language, figuring out the whole culture, because things are very different in Europe than they are here in the US, and just to feel a sense of masculinity. He came from a place where he was the provider to a place where he was a dependent. And that never feels good for a man who has been in charge and has been leading. And so me as his wife, I felt that I had to take that step to make him feel not less than, but someone who is able to contribute, someone that I see as worthy and that I value and appreciate just for being there, right? As we're navigating the storm that we're in. So the whole point of being in a relationship is to truly understand how important it is to be a person that you can lean, that they can lean on, and that you can lean on them. Because relationships are not going to work if you throw in the towel at the first fight. And so I was listening to Esther Perel. I don't know if you know her. If you do, let me know in the comments. But she's a bit controversial when it comes to the whole relationship realm. And I love her for that, because she really brings in a different kind of flavor. And she basically said, because she's about to go on her, I believe, 40th anniversary with her husband, she basically said that in today's times, people are going to have marriage not number 1, not number 2, but most likely number 3, because things have changed. And I get it, right? Things have become a lot busier. Things have become a lot more complicated. There's a lot of paradox of choice. And so it's hard to maintain that. But when you find a person that is willing to meet you halfway, that's when you know it's right. But relationships are always going to be under construction. And please stop lying or gaslighting yourself into believing that it should be easy. There's people out there that say things are easy. Well, maybe. But sooner or later, everybody is going to come up at the roadblock. And it's in those times that your bond is forged and becomes stronger. My husband and I had many, many fires we had to walk through, many flooding that was happening in a relationship as well. In the first year, it was tough. It was really, really tough. And we didn't talk about that because we were so busy surviving. But now, as we sat down to reflect on that, we looked at all these steps that we have overcome to get us to the point where we're at right now. So if you really want a relationship to work, you need to come to terms that things are going to be tough, but that you will have the tools, as I have right now, to make it through and to make it lasting. So I sat here, I thought about this, and I figured, you know what, I'm going to share this with you so that you can understand that. Because if you're looking for love, you need to understand that there's going to be sacrifice in your relationship. And it's for you to discern what you're willing to do. And not to take it lightly. Because what I see a lot is, they did this. I don't think, I think it's a red flag. And so people are so quick to give up on each other, not really giving each other a chance, because in the beginning, things are going to be misunderstood. There's going to be miscommunication because you really don't know each other. You don't know each other's communication style. And so please give yourself the grace and give the other person the courtesy. A branch just flew off. It's very, very windy here and hit my car. Anyways, where was I? I lost my train of thought. No, the point is that if you want a relationship to last, you're going to be willing to go the extra mile. And you're going to be willing to discover what this person is about. And what can they bring to the relationship? How do they complement the things that you want in a partner? The things that maybe you do not possess, right? And that's why we talk about, opposites attract. And opposites do attract. Yes, you do have shared values, but there are things that they do or know or have a different thought behind that may give you a little bit of a new perspective. Because if we were all the same, our world would be so boring and so dull, and the relationships wouldn't be dynamic and fun. And so keep that in mind as you go out and start looking, all right? Or if you're in a relationship right now and you are having a little bit of a rocky road, just think about that. Sit down and talk about it, It's all about communication. It's all about openness, and it's all about being ready to do what it takes. All right. If you enjoy this, let me know. Share, like, and follow. This is usually what I say when I do videos. But anyways, if you're not in my community, please do share, like, and follow. And I will see you next time. All right. Take care. Bye.